Hi there, my name's Vince from mymatevince.com, and in this video today I'll bring to you the Virtual Boy Mark II, also known as, of course, the Virtual Vince Boy. I had to get my name in there. So the Virtual Boy was a console made by Nintendo in the 1990s, but unfortunately it was a bit of a flop. It sold less than 1 million units and was discontinued quite quickly. But I think the idea itself was good. So you might be wondering, why have I resurrected this idea that failed first time round? Well, quite simple. We now have a couple of games on the Nintendo Switch that support VR. So we've got Zelda, Breath of the Wild, and also Mario Odyssey as well. And of course we've got the Nintendo Labo as well that has the mini games. So I thought, what better time to build a nice headset rather than relying on the cardboard here. So you still might be confused about what this is, but hopefully when you look inside here, it will all become clear. So there we go. Can you see what I've done? I've built a Nintendo Switch. There's Mario Odyssey. There's Link, Zelda. I've built a Nintendo Switch into these VR goggles here. And it's nice and small and compact. Actually looks, in my opinion, for my work anyway, quite professional. Now you might remember I did a video recently on the Nintendo Switch Mini, which got a lot of mixed reviews to say the least. Some people liked it, but the majority of people thought it was really ugly, which really hurts my feelings. No, I'm only joking. I know, it's just duct tape on it, but the idea is there, and the fact that it's light and very playable, in my opinion, I think the Mini would be a success if Nintendo go and make it properly. So that's all I've done. I've miniaturized the Switch and I've put it into this front bit here. So now, the downfall with the cardboard side of this is the fact that, in my opinion, it lets light in from the sides here because it's kind of one size fits all. There's no padding or anything like that. So obviously a smaller kid, in my opinion, will have a worse experience than somebody with an extremely large head. As well as that, you've got light leakage coming in from here and here. It hasn't got any strap on it, so it's not very comfortable. Your arms get tired after about 10 or 15 minutes. But obviously it's made out of cardboard and it's just for a kind of novelty to see how it works. But what I've done here is I've used the lenses from the Nintendo Switch, so they're nice big lenses, and obviously they're made for the Nintendo Switch. But if you have a look here, can you see you can move them in and out? Can you see that moving in and out? On both of them. So different people have different eyesight, so hopefully now you can adjust it to make it comfortable for whatever you're comfortable with. So for example, you might want it right the way forward, or you might want it halfway. One eye might be slightly more or less than the other. So that's good that you can adjust it here. As well as that, we've got this nice soft padding which blocks all the light coming in from the room, so you don't get any reflection on the lenses. You don't end up looking at the side of your head or the room towards behind you. And because we've got a nice solid strap here, there is more weight to this than that. This weighs, I think, just under, I think it was 500 grams, while this weighs, I think, just under 400 grams. So it's about 100 grams more. But honestly, you don't feel that at all because this is strapped firmly onto your head and it doesn't want to tip down all the time. I will show my son playing Zelda later because he hasn't played that game in VR before, so I want to get his real first impressions. So the very fact that it's all strapped on is nice. And you've even got a little place here to have your games. Now, I had to remove the touchscreen from it because there's no need to have a touchscreen because you can't get to the Switch itself. But everything else works as it should do. There's no Joy-Con rail, so we're going to be using it with the Pro Controller, but you can use Joy-Cons with it. It's just that you have to charge them up elsewhere. But we still have our game slot here that you can put your games into, headphone jack, we've still got the fan here, so we've still got our heat pipe, all the cooling is exactly the same, volume, power, and we've got our USB port down the bottom here. So I think what I'll do to begin with is I'm going to show you Mario Odyssey and just try to show you through the lenses here, and then I think I'm going to dock it, then I'm going to show you a few build pictures, then I'm going to show you my son playing Zelda. So let's get Mario set up. Now, the menu in here is obviously like a standard Switch. If Nintendo was to build it, then the whole menu, the software, would be in VR. So it would be stereoscopic between both of your eyes, which is what you need it to be. But obviously, I can't do the software on this Nintendo Switch, so all I'm doing to get into the certain games before I put it onto VR is closing one eye or closing the other eye. So I'm looking through one lens or the other lens to get to where I want to get to. Okay, so here he is, through one lens and the other lens. And now look, if I look up, you can see I'm looking up, and if I look down, and let me just do a quick 360, you can see you can look around the world through both lenses, yeah? And then of course, when you've got a slightly different view on one lens compared to the other, it gives you the feeling that you are actually there, to a certain degree, obviously. Okay, and I can't actually do this because I haven't got another pair of hands, but let me just move him around with my foot. Just use a controller on my foot. There you go. Yeah. Right, so let me show you it in docked mode. So now, obviously, we have no way of getting the VR headset into the dock, but what we can use is we can use one of these. So this is like an aftermarket adapter that you plug in there, and then if I plug it into the USB port here, now it won't display VR on this. There you go. Okay, but we can play any other game, so you can just use it now like a normal Nintendo Switch with your Joy-Cons or your Pro Controller. Well, let me show you a few pictures of the build, and then I'm going to show you my son playing Zelda for the first time. Right, let's set up Zelda. Now, just before I show him, this is Zelda Breath of the Wild. You can see Link there, and I'm just walking around the room like that, yeah? Look how amazing it looks. Now, what I've done is I've got the camera set to very fast, and also the motion controls on, and that allows head tracking then. So you can see when I move down, I'm moving down now, and now I move up, and you can see it's moving up, yeah? And this is the other lens. Well, let's get him in and get his impressions of it. So here we have it, Zelda for the first time. Now, is it tight enough?
Yeah.
Right, okay, now 1 second, look around. Tell me when it sort of becomes clear. Is it blurred?
Yeah.
I'm just going to adjust these.
There.
Is that clear?
Yeah.
Right, okay. Now, if it's off centre, you can use the right analog stick to kind of move it around so you're level when you look level.
Yeah.
Right, now look to the left and up and down and stuff.
Whoa. I'm in a fight.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Wow, it's so cool.
What do you think it's, graphics-wise, what do you think it looks like? Okay,
A
or...?
tiny bit pixely, but yeah, it's still really good.
Okay. And look around 360 and stuff?
Whoa.
And up and down?
Yeah.
Does it make you feel weird? It makes me feel sick. Does it make you feel sick?
Not really, no.
No? It might do after a while, though. So there we have it. That is the virtual Vince Boy. You can carry on playing for a bit, Ben.
Okay.
Tell me what you think about it. Obviously, it's just something I've knocked up myself, but I do like the way that I've got the Nintendo Switch all built into it. Doesn't appear to be any overheating issues or anything like that. You can see there's plenty of room in there. And what I was thinking is, I mean, look how much spare room there is in there now. Surely you could put in something much more powerful, not me, but let's say a proper company now, and rather than having, let's say, the PlayStation VR, where it's a separate unit and relying on a PlayStation 4 as well, I wonder what VR would be like if in the next few years technology could move on enough where we could just have something the size of this here with 4K screens where it would be good enough to play. Or is it not? Do you need proper cameras around the room to track your movements and stuff like that? But it's certainly interesting. And I'm glad I've done this little project. Obviously, it's kind of tongue-in-cheek, you know, Virtual Vince Boy. This thing would never go on sale. This is just purely for me. But it's still, in my opinion, it's still a better experience than this cardboard down here. But obviously, this cardboard has been designed so you can still use your Switch as a Switch. So, yeah, I know really the Virtual Vince Boy is kind of pointless. But for me, it was still fun making it anyway. So if you enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up and please subscribe for more of these type of videos. Take care. Bye now.